We are back, and we're here with an Attuned Caeda and Ascended Merric summoning session. Our goal for tonight is we want Merric. Merric is definitely the number one thing we want, and the reason why we want him is because he has a Floret. That is the reason. We need a Floret to complete Alencia, and that is what matters. Honestly, we've got a lot to talk about, so let's just jump straight in. We can talk about the banner a bit, talk about all the data mine stuff, and everything else. So, I've been gone for a little bit. I think some people may have noticed, and I've been playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I went hardcore on that, so I told everybody I was taking some time off, but I don't think everybody got the memo. But I put about 100... Oh! Oh, the game missed me, I guess. Holy crap, nice. That's a really good free pool there. Oh my gosh. But yeah, so I told everybody I was taking some time off. It took about 100 hours to beat that game. Game is beaten now. I haven't beaten all the content yet, but I am ready to come back, start doing some streaming again, and get back on the grind. So hopefully everybody will be happy to see me. But we'll probably start the streams again next week. And yeah, I don't want to spoil the game, so we're not going to talk about that here. But it was a very good game. Okay, let's see. So we're going Merric. So yeah, our goal, Merric is our number one goal. Caeda along the way is nice, obviously, because she has very good fodder, and she also is a skill duplicator. So one of the big things I want to talk about, I guess, is like my banner overview is kind of controversial because people are like, how could you say to skip this banner? And the thing is, for me, it's just like, this banner is not bad, right? Like, there's definitely good things, parts of it. Like, Caeda herself is very strong. Merric is an ascended hero, so he gives out that Floret. There's definitely value. The thing is, right, is like if you're a free-to-play player or like a very light spender, right now is a difficult time because we're about to have like an onslaught of really, really good banners. And so I think if you can skip, you should, right? And so that's why I put out that advice to skip this banner. Now, obviously, if you're a whale or like a Leviathan or something like that, then obviously you just summon whenever you want because who cares? You're just going to swipe their credit card. But if that's not the case, then I think you have to be a little bit more selective with what you summon, right? And so I think this banner, as good as there is stuff on here, I don't think it's like a meta-defining banner like the Valentine's banner was earlier this month or last month. So that's where that was. It wasn't me like shitting on the banner. I don't honestly think these units are all that like bad. I think they're pretty solid. The other thing is like Caeda's viability. I do think that the funny thing is that in my video I actually incorrectly talked about her flat DR. But when I read it the first time, I actually understood it correctly. I don't know why, but when I actually like read it for the actual video, I said it wrong. But I understood it. I was just sitting there like, okay. It like clicked to my brain. I don't know. The thing is that I was literally at the end of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth while that banner dropped, and my brain was just not thinking about Fire Emblem at the moment. I was completely consumed by Final Fantasy, so my brain wasn't completely there, to be fair. But yeah. So, I think Caeda's going to be very strong. I do think that she's going to struggle against Leon, just because Leon has a sweep effect, and he's also green, and he also has burn damage. So, all three of those combined are going to make it a very difficult matchup for her. And then Merric has competition with Fallen Leon, right? So, they both kind of... it kind of sucks to be them at the moment, just because they're such a powerful unit out that either competes with them or directly counters them, right? When it comes to the fodder, the bonus doubler, distant counter, and close counter, I do think they are good skills. I'm just not the biggest fan of bonus doubler-esque effects. Even bonus doubler 4, like where it like, or like this skill where it checks your allies for their bonuses as well. The thing is, that means you have to have an ally within 2 spaces, right? And they have to be buffed. So if like somehow Caeda gets debuffed, at least she has like the unity to protect herself. But if the ally gets debuffed, you don't have access to those stats anymore. And then also Sonic Key looks at debuffs on allies as well, so it's just I personally like Prime a little bit more. I understand that bonus doubler has a higher high than Prime does, but I think that the consistency is worth more, in my opinion. That's kind of where I'm at with that. But yeah, overall, pretty strong banner itself. Like the banner is good. It's just that for me personally, I think Hero Rises is worth more. And more than anything, even more than Hero Rises, I think you have to consider the Emblem Ring, right? The Emblem Ring is guaranteed coming at the end of the month. We don't know what it is yet. But the first one, right? The Marth Ring was so ridiculously useful and powerful for your entire account. If it's as strong as that one, then you're going to want that. And if it's stronger, right? Because that's typically how IS does things. They typically power creep. So if it's stronger, you're gonna want that as well. Now I'm hoping it's like just more unique and different, but the chances that we could get something like Celica with like some kind of like mage warp effect like she has in Engage, or like Sigurd who gives extra movement in Kanto, those are both very, very powerful things. So I think that's such high value, you don't want to miss out on that. But yeah, obviously, you know, make the decision that's best for your account. There's a Vanessa. Okay, the other thing in this data mine we have to talk about is Nidhogger. So Nidhogger has joined the game officially, like she is now a combat unit, right? And what that means is we get to know what weapon type she is, we get to know what movement type she is, and we also get to know her sprite. So I guess let's start off with the sprite. I'm going to throw it up right now so you can look at it, and I'm going to be honest, I think the sprite is hideous. I think it's absolutely disgustingly ugly. I think this is what we get for supporting the Neopet Squirrel. And when I put out the Neopet Squirrel like slander poll, which everybody got mad about, there was a lot of people who were like, no, it's cute, and I get that. Like people like different things, obviously. But I want to know it down in the comment section. Make sure you go down there. I want to know the conclusion of at least people watch this video. Do you like this sprite? Do you think the sprite is cool? Do you think it's cute? I don't know what other word to describe it. I want to know, so drop a comment down below. Are you pro Nidhogger sprite? Or are you like me and you think it's just like one of the worst things added to the game ever? Oh, Jesus. Oh, man. Okay, that aside, right, let's talk about her actual, her as an actual unit. So she is a red beast armor. So that means that she has the built-in distant counter, which is a big deal. And she also has one of the most insane weapons like I've ever heard. There's so much going on in this weapon, which really isn't all that different than, you know, current Fae. Kind of Faes are just overloaded weapons. But okay, so what this essentially does is you get slaying, and then at start of turn you get like a, I thought that was Brave Sword, or yeah, Brave Sword for a second. It confused me. So at the start of turn, you're going to inflict attack and defense -7 as a visible penalty, and sabotage on any foe within 3 rows and 3 spaces, centered on Nidhogger. So like Arvel, right? Like how you know Arvel does the debuff with the guard. It's going to be like that, but with sabotage essentially and stats. Then whenever you start combat with her, you'll get 8 burn damage. So like, you know, same thing as like Flared Sparrow or anything like that. So that's already pretty good, right? Getting some extra free damage there. It's kind of interesting on an armor, but you'll understand why when you get to the other effects in her weapon. You then get some stats. So you get attack and defense -X on the foe, and it's based off her visible defense +6. So it's 20% of her visible defense +6. So just a giant amount of stats, which is pretty typical of current weapons, right? You then get 50% damage reduction to halving. So nice, some DR shred, right? That's very good as well. You need that on essentially every unit in the game now. And then, and this is where things get really insane, you deal 30% of the foe's max HP as true damage. Not with AoEs, but just consider that. 30% of their max HP as true damage. Like, holy crap. Right? So let's be realistic, right? So if a unit has 100 HP, that's 30 damage. Realistically, most units don't have 100 HP. They're more like in the 50-ish range, I'd say. So that's about, what, 15 true damage? That's pretty solid, right? That's a good amount of true damage. But it actually gets crazier. She also gets flat damage reduction based off Y, which is, of course, you know, why not have more variables? And Y is going to be equal to the total damage you dealt to the foe, a max of 20. You heard right, 20. And so the way this will essentially work is that because she does the 8 burn damage, right? The first attack into Nidhogger, she'll reduce it by 8 flat damage reduction. But on the second hit, it will be 8 plus whatever she hits the opponent with, right? So up to 20. So you can get up to 20 flat damage reduction. And then, because there's more, right? Because there has to be more. If the foe has an offensive special, she gets that damage reduction again. So she can get up to 40 flat damage reduction. 40 flat damage reduction on the second hit. That is absolutely and absurdly stupid. Like, that's so ridiculous. Now, obviously, that typically won't be the case. There's some ways to get around that, like either through like healing or like, you know, having your own damage reduction, because she only shreds half. But either way, that's a very, very powerful effect. And when you combine that, because she's an armor, right? You can combine that with Hardy Fighter. So you could have like a defensive special for the first hit, which absorbs most of the damage with her flat DR as well. And then the second hit, she hits flat DR. So like a lot of flat DR, right? So that could protect her as well. So I think she's going to be a very powerful armor. She has built-in distant counter too, which is, a big deal. The thing for me is just like, what season will she be? Because most likely she will be a mythic hero. So will she be a defense mythic or will she be an offense mythic? I think she'll be a defense mythic personally. I think like maybe we get like a dark defense mythic armor, right? Because we already have the Mortis and Anima season. Obviously she'll probably be better than for Mortis, but like I could see that happening. I was talking to Infantry Pulse about it, and that's kind of where we were thinking. But it will be very interesting to see that. And I think without the bonus stats from being a mythic, other than her bonus season, you can deal with her. It just won't be easy. You'll need like AoE specials. You'll need like burn damage, right? But she's gonna be pretty strong, and I'm gonna be interested to see how she turns out in summoner duels in particular. If she's strong enough to compete with like Mer and Byleth, because those are right now the two most powerful saves. But yeah, other than her sprite, I'm pretty interested in this unit. The sprite has completely turned me off. I'm not gonna want to ever see that, but other than that, some interesting information, I will say. I'm still interested to see who the other two. We haven't got like the reveal yet of the other two characters. I haven't done the story, so maybe it's in the most recent chapter. But I'm interested to see how they look. I'm really afraid of their Neopet sprites, considering how cool they look outside that. But I guess we'll have to just go with like whatever happens, right? Okay, so we're 10 away from Spark. We're almost there. Started off really strong and then slowed down really hard. I would love to get Merric here, and I could spark Caeda. That would be great. I don't really need more than one Merric, right? I just need the Floret for Alencia, and that's it. But yeah, some other stuff I actually haven't talked about because it all happened like literally the day Final Fantasy VII came out was the new combat manuals. The new combat manuals are kind of insane, right? Like they actually did such a good. Ooh, Hilda. Okay, I'll take this. Not only do I like Hilda, but she also has fodder. I'm blanking on the name for some reason. Velocity. Whenever we get Velocity 4, that's going to be pretty solid, so I'll take that for sure. But yeah, the combat manuals are kind of insane. Like, they really gave us, like, so much in those manuals. Ugh, okay, this sucks. Sure. The fact that we get a rearmed hero or a tuned hero at the end of every single line is so cool. And they're not the worst ones either, right? They could have given us, like, Lif and, like, Alfred. You know what I mean? They would have been pretty suck, but they didn't. They actually gave us like really good ones with like Ingrid, right? And Tana. So it's a very nice fodder there. And the early fodder is really good too. Like we get like some really insane fodder early. Like we get Snap at 1200 codes, which is what I'm going for personally. Being able to get Snap on 1200 codes and then give it to Peony, right? On AHR and then duplicate that is going to be absolute insane value. So I definitely would recommend that too if you want to go that route. But like Snap is really, really strong, so that's really cool. Dimitri's in there pretty early. Like there's just 2 copies of Infantry Pulse 4. Like they did really, really well with these codes. I think the only thing that's really missing from these codes is like Flared Sparrow, Flared Mirror, Assassin Strike, and Occultist Strike, right? Which are like obviously very big meta skills right now. I mean, it kind of sucks that they're not there, but at the same time, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Just because I don't think that there was any chance we were ever going to get like Duo Sonic-y, right? Or Golveg in the codes. So, not really all that surprised by that. Claude. I would be happy to see Claude, but I already have plus 10. So, unfortunately, Claude, you are going to be Fury 4 fodder. I just noticed we got 2 golden deers. It's kind of funny. Yeah, let's keep going. We're almost to Spark. Almost there. Can we get one more unit before we end? That would be very nice. But yeah, the manuals are insane. I'm very excited for that. Obviously, it's going to take a little while to get into those codes as we have to get all the new codes from all the new events, but we'll get there eventually. The other thing too is the Emblem Ring at the end of the month. We do know it should be green, considering that like Camilla is on the share and she's the newest legendary on that banner. So a green Emblem Ring is really interesting because I think Sigurd would probably be Ophelia, right? Yeah. Sigurd would probably be like red or blue, I would assume, and like Celica would probably be like colorless or red. So I'm not really sure because those are the two I expect the most. So if it is an actual green emblem ring, right? Like who is that going to be? Like Lynn or Ike? If it's Ike, I'm gonna tilt. I'm gonna be so mad because like this is not the month to +10 a unit. I do not want to spend that many orbs, but it's a possibility, I guess, right? Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that's not the case. I'm not really sure who else could be green. So if you know who else could be a combat ring that is green, let me know down below. So I really can't think of, like Byleth would probably be colorless. Maybe, I guess Edelgard, but I kind of doubt we'll get Edelgard this soon. Who else is there that's green? Green. Roy's red, Marth's red, Leaf's, I guess Leaf could be green technically. He used like axes and swords. I don't know. I'm a bit nervous, a little bit. There's Noe. Okay, it's gonna be the last one right here. Well, very strong start, not the best end, but that's okay. Not the biggest deal. We'll just grab Merric and then grab our Floret and be done with this banner. I'll be honest, like, if there wasn't a Floret, I probably wouldn't have pulled because I just really need every Floret I can get. So I need one for Alencia, and then I need one for Felix in August. And then whenever Emblem Ike comes out, I'll need one for him as well. So we are definitely desperate for Florets at this point. Oh, there he is. I do like his art. His art looks pretty cool. It's like a little bit dorky because his hat, but like that's just the Merric hat, so you kind of get used to it. There we go. There's the stone. That's the Floret. That's what matters. And there is Merric. I think he's actually like a pretty good unit. I just don't think he compares to Leon, but like, who really does at this point? The unit is like completely broken. Okay, that is going to be my summoning session for this banner. I'd love to hear in the comment section down below, how did your summons go? Were you like going for like the echo skills? Were you going for like duplication? Were you going for the Floret like I was? I'd love to hear about it, so make sure to drop a comment down below. As always, I'd like to thank all my members for their constant support. And if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. This has been Oblivion. I'll catch y'all later with more Fire Emblem Heroes.